Have you ever felt the pull of a mystery so deep, so ancient, that it seems to echo across centuries? The Qur'an, the timeless word of Allah, is not just a book of guidance and law. It's a tapestry of stories, warnings, and wonders. Among its verses are references to places so enigmatic that even today, scholars, scientists, and seekers are left in awe. These are not just locations on a map. They are crossroads of faith and reason, history and legend, the known and the unknown. Today, I invite you to join me on a journey that will take us from the windswept deserts of Arabia to the shadowy mountains of Central Asia, from the heart of lost cities to the edge of the world itself. Together, we will explore 5 places mentioned in the Qur'an whose true nature and location remain shrouded in mystery. Each of these places is more than a geographic riddle. Each is a lesson, a challenge, and a reminder of the limits of human knowledge and the boundless wisdom of Allah. So, settle in. Imagine the sand beneath your feet, the stars overhead, and the stories of prophets and kings swirling in the night air. Our first stop, the legendary Wall of Dhul-Qarnayn. 1. The Wall of Dhul-Qarnayn, the barrier against chaos. Our story begins with a king so powerful and wise that his name echoes through history and legend. The Qur'an calls him Dhul-Qarnayn, the possessor of 2 horns. Some say he was Alexander the Great, others suggest Cyrus the Great, and some believe he was a figure lost to time. But what matters most is not his identity, but his mission. The Qur'an in Surah Al-Kahf 18:83-98 tells us that Dhul-Qarnayn journeyed to the very edges of the world. He traveled from the place where the sun sets to the place where it rises, encountering people of every kind. But it was in a remote valley, hemmed in by mountains, that he met a people living in fear. They were tormented by the tribes of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, whose destructive power threatened to overwhelm them. Moved by their plight, Dhul-Qarnayn agreed to help. He ordered the construction of a mighty barrier, forged from iron and copper, so strong that neither enemy nor time could breach it. This wall, he declared, would stand until the decree of Allah, when it would finally be broken and chaos would be unleashed once more. But where is this wall? For centuries, explorers have searched for it. Some have pointed to the Great Wall of China, but its construction and purpose do not match the Quranic account. Others have looked to the Caucasus Mountains, where ancient fortifications still stand. The Caspian Gates, the Iron Gates of Derbent, and the mysterious Pass of Dariel have all been proposed as candidates. Yet, none fit perfectly. Modern technology has only deepened the mystery. Satellite imagery, archaeological digs, and historical records have failed to reveal a barrier that matches the Qur'an's description. Some scholars suggest that the wall was destroyed long ago, its remnants lost to time. Others believe it still stands, hidden by the will of Allah, waiting for the day when Ya'juj and Ma'juj will be released as a sign of the end times. But perhaps the true lesson of Dhul-Qarnayn's wall is not its location, but its meaning. It is a reminder that, no matter how strong our defenses, there are forces in the world that only Allah can control. It is a symbol of the limits of human power and the ultimate sovereignty of the Creator. As we leave the shadow of the wall, we are left with more questions than answers, a fitting beginning to our journey into the unknown. 2. The Cave of the Sleepers, Ashab al-Kahf's hidden refuge. From the iron wall of Dhul-Qarnayn, our path winds through the valleys and hills of the ancient world until we reach the mouth of a cave. Here, in the cool darkness, a group of young men found refuge from persecution. Their story, told in Surah Al-Kahf 18:9-26, is one of faith, courage, and the enduring mystery of time itself. The Qur'an calls them Ashab al-Kahf, the people of the cave. They were young, strong, and devoted to Allah, living in a land ruled by tyranny and idolatry. When their faith was threatened, they chose exile over compromise, fleeing to a cave with nothing but their trust in Allah to sustain them. And then, a miracle. Allah caused them to sleep, not for a night or a year, but for centuries, 309 years, according to the Qur'an. When they awoke, the world had changed. Their oppressors were gone, and their story became a legend, a sign for all who seek refuge in faith. But where is this cave? The Qur'an does not say. Over the centuries, many have claimed to know its location. In Jordan, near Amman, a cave draws pilgrims who believe it to be the true site. In Turkey, the town of Afin boasts another candidate. Even in Spain, the city of Ephesus claims a connection to the story. Archaeologists have examined these sites, uncovering ancient graves, inscriptions, and artifacts. Yet, none can say with certainty that they have found the cave of the sleepers. The Qur'an itself seems to anticipate this uncertainty, noting that people will argue about the number of sleepers, their dog, and the details of their story. Say, my Lord is most knowing of their number. None knows them except a few. 1822. Why does this mystery persist? Perhaps because the lesson of Ashab al-Kahf is not about geography, but about faith. Their story is a testament to the power of trust in Allah, the resilience of youth, and the miracles that can unfold when we choose principle over comfort. The cave remains hidden, a symbol of the unseen rewards that await those who stand firm in their beliefs. As we leave the darkness of the cave, our eyes adjusting to the light, we carry with us the lesson that sometimes the greatest mysteries are those that test our patience and our faith. 3. The lost city of Iram, Atlantis of the sands. Our journey continues, carried by the winds of legend and the whispers of the desert. The Qur'an in Surah Al-Fajr 89, 6-8 speaks of a city called Iram, the city of lofty pillars, built by the people of Ad. It was a place of unimaginable wealth and power, its towers reaching for the sky, its people proud and unrepentant. But arrogance led to their downfall. The Qur'an tells us that the people of Ad rejected the message of their prophet, Hudayz, and were destroyed by a terrible storm. Their city vanished, swallowed by the sands, leaving behind only ruins and warnings. For centuries, Iram was thought to be a myth, a tale told to frighten the proud and comfort the humble. But in the 1990s, something extraordinary happened. Using satellite imagery, archaeologists discovered the remains of an ancient city in the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter of Arabia. The site, known as Ubar, matched many of the descriptions of Iram, a city of pillars, lost to the desert, destroyed by a cataclysm. Yet, the mystery remains. Was Ubar truly Iram, or just another forgotten settlement? The ruins are ancient, but their connection to the Quranic story is still debated. Some scholars argue that Iran was not a single city, but a region or a tribe. Others suggest that the story is a warning, not a historical account. What is certain is that the legend of Iram continues to captivate the imagination. Explorers, writers, and filmmakers have all been drawn to the Atlantis of the sands, searching for clues in the shifting dunes. But perhaps the true lesson of Iram is not in its ruins, but in its fate. It is a reminder that no civilization, no matter how mighty, can escape the justice of Allah. Pride, arrogance, and injustice lead only to ruin. As we leave the sands of Iram, the wind erasing our footprints, we are reminded that the greatest mysteries are often warnings, echoes of the past, meant to guide us in the present. 4. Mount Qaf, the edge of the known world from the buried city of Iram, our journey takes us to the very edge of the world, or so the ancients believed. Here, shrouded in mist and legend, stands Mount Qaf, a mountain so mysterious that its very existence is a matter of debate. The Qur'an does not mention Mount Qaf by name, but Islamic tradition is rich with references to it. Some say it is the mountain that encircles the earth, marking the boundary between the world of men and the realm of the jinn. Others describe it as a peak of emerald, shining with a light that gives the sky its color. Where is Mount Qaf? Some have looked to the Caucasus, the Himalayas, or the mountains of Central Asia. Others believe it exists in a dimension beyond our own, a place that can only be reached by those with special knowledge or spiritual insight. The stories of Mount Qaf are as varied as they are mysterious. In some tales, it is the home of the Simra, a mythical bird of wisdom. In others, it is the domain of the jinn, ruled by their king. Sufi poets have used Mount Qaf as a symbol of the journey to enlightenment, the quest for knowledge that lies beyond the limits of reason. Modern science has little to say about Mount Qaf. There is no evidence of a mountain encircling the earth, no emerald peak shining in the distance. But the legend endures, a reminder of the boundaries between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. Perhaps the true lesson of Mount Qaf is not to be found in geography, but in humility. It is a symbol of the limits of human knowledge, a challenge to our arrogance, and an invitation to wonder. As we gaze at the horizon, imagining the mountain that lies beyond, we are reminded that the world is full of mysteries, and that the greatest journeys are those that lead us to the edge of what we know. 5. The land of Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj's hidden domain. Our journey now takes us to the most ominous mystery of all, the land of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog. The Qur'an in Surah Al-Kahf 18, 94-99, and Surah Al-Anbiya 21, 96-97, warns of a time when these tribes will break free from their barrier and unleash chaos upon the earth. Who are Ya'juj and Ma'juj? Where is their land? The Qur'an tells us that they are a people of great power and destruction, held back by the wall of al-Qarnayn until the appointed time. When they are released, it will be a sign of the end times, a prelude to the day of judgment. Over the centuries, scholars have debated the identity and location of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Some have linked them to the Mongols, the Huns, or other nomadic tribes of Central Asia. Others believe they are a supernatural people, hidden from the world by the will of Allah. The search for their land has led explorers to the mountains of the Caucasus, the steppes of Mongolia, and the remote corners of the earth. Yet, no trace of Ya'juj and Ma'juj has ever been found. Some suggest that they exist in a parallel dimension, or that their emergence will be a supernatural event beyond the reach of science. The mystery of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is not just a question of geography, but of destiny. Their story is a warning, a reminder that the world as we know it is not permanent, that great upheavals await, and that only faith can prepare us for what is to come. As we contemplate the hidden domain of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, we are reminded that the greatest threats are often those we cannot see, and that the ultimate protection lies not in walls or weapons, but in the mercy of Allah. Interlude: The Ark of Noah, a bonus mystery. Before we conclude our journey, let us pause at one more mystery, a place where faith, history, and legend converge. The Qur'an in Surah Hud 11:44 tells us that the Ark of Noah came to rest on Mount Judi after the Great Flood. For centuries, believers have searched for the resting place of the Ark, hoping to find proof of one of humanity's oldest stories. Mount Judi is traditionally identified with a mountain in southeastern Turkey, near the border with Iraq. Some explorers have claimed to find the remains of a great ship on Mount Ararat, not far away. Others believe the Ark was destroyed long ago, its wood and nails scattered by time. Archaeologists have studied the region, uncovering ancient settlements and artifacts. Yet, no definitive evidence of the Ark has ever been found. The mountain remains shrouded in mist and legend, a symbol of survival, faith, and the enduring power of hope. Perhaps the true lesson of the Ark is not in its remains, but in its message. It is a story of salvation, of trust in Allah, and of the promise that, no matter how great the flood, there is always a way forward for those who believe. Conclusion. The wisdom in mystery. As our journey draws to a close, we find ourselves not at the end of a story, but at the beginning of a new understanding. The Qur'an is a book of guidance, but it is also a book of mystery. Its verses challenge us to seek knowledge, to question, and to wonder. Yet, they also remind us that there are limits to what we can know. The wall of Dhul-Qarnayn, the cave of the sleepers, the lost city of Iram, Mount Qaf, and the land of Yajuj and Majuj, each is a riddle, a lesson, and a sign. They teach us humility, patience, and faith. They remind us that the world is vast, that history is deep, and that the unseen is as real as the seen. In the end, perhaps the greatest mystery is not in the places themselves, but in our response to them. Do we seek only facts and answers, or do we open ourselves to wonder, to awe, and to the possibility that some truths are meant to remain hidden? The Qur'an tells us, "And you have not been given of knowledge except a little." Surah Al-Isra 17-85. This is not a rebuke, but an invitation to keep searching, to keep learning, and to keep believing. So, as you leave this video, I invite you to carry these mysteries with you not as burdens, but as treasures. Let them inspire you to seek knowledge, to ask questions, and to trust in the wisdom of Allah. For in the end, it is not the answers that matter most, but the journey itself. If you found this journey through the mysteries of the Qur'an inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which mystery fascinated you the most? And what other secrets of the Qur'an would you like us to explore next? Until then, keep seeking, keep believing, and may peace and blessings be upon you.